is finally summarizing that how Diti, who heard earlier that in her womb will be born two asuras, so she was not very pleased with that. She was very unhappy to hear that these two asuras, her sons, would terrorize the whole universe. And then she was also afraid that her two sons should not be cursed by the Brahmanas. If they would be neglected by the devotees, by the Brahmanas, then they have no gati. Then, when Kashyapa Muni informed that even though her sons would be demoniac, asuras, her grandson, Prahlad Maharaj, would be a great devotee of the Lord. Shrutva Bhagavatam Pautram. Pautram means grandson. So her grandson would be Bhagavatam, a great devotee, pure devotee of the Lord, of the highest order. Shrutva, hearing this, Amodata Ditir Bhrisham. Bhrisham means very much, greatly. Amodata means she became very happy. She was very glad to hear that even though my sons would be demons, my grandson would be a great devotee of the Lord. Why she was pleased is because the whole family becomes glorified if there is one person in the family who becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. It's like sometimes Prabhupada would give that example. One sun, one moon, they can illuminate the whole world. Thousands of stars cannot do anything. So, the whole family can become glorified just by one great son being in the family, like Prahlad Maharaj. We see that example, that how the whole family actually becomes benefited also. When Prahlad Maharaj, when Lord Narasimha was asking that take some benediction from me, so Prahlad Maharaj was very hesitant. He said, my dear Lord, I don't want anything. What will I get? I have seen my father, he had everything. What is the use of taking some material benediction? My father had everything and you vanquished in 1 second. Everything was finished. So what is the value of asking some material benediction? I don't want. If you want to give me some benediction, give me the benediction that I may be born in the family of a Vaishnava to serve. That's all I want. But still the Lord said, no, still I want that you should take some benediction. So then he said, okay, if you want to give me some benediction, I'm just worried about my father. He had become very, very inimical to you. What will be his destination, I do not know. So the Lord said, don't worry. Just by your becoming a devotee, your father, his father, his father. So he said, up to 14 generations, your family is already liberated. Don't worry about that. So, this is why Diti was so much pleased. She became so glad that even if we were not able to become very pure devotee, and even though I have given birth to asuras, does not matter. One person in our family, my grandson, if he has become a great devotee, that is the greatest of asset to all our family people. So she was very, very pleased with that understanding. So actually, we should all understand this. If all of us can also try to become pure devotee like Prahlad Maharaj, which Prabhupada always wanted, that all of us should become purified, all of us should become pure devotees of the Lord. That will be the greatest service, greatest debts we can pay to our parents. All of us have something to pay. All of us are indebted. We are indebted to the society, we are indebted to the family in which we are born. And the greatest way of paying that debt is by becoming pure devotee of the Lord. So that is why we see Diti was very, very pleased to have such a grandson, pure devotee of the Lord. Her happiness was exemplified further when she heard, even though my sons are going to be demoniac, the Lord would personally kill them. So she was further very, very happy. Putrayoscha vadham Krishna, that my putras, my sons, they would be killed by Krishna. Viditvan, Viditvasim Mahamanaha. Mahamanaha means she became extremely satisfied. Earlier she was very disturbed, very perturbed. But now, after hearing that even though her sons would be Asura, but when she heard that they would be killed personally by Krishna, she was very happy. Because actually speaking, greatest of the demons, Krishna does not require to appear personally and kill somebody. You see, Prabhupada explains that Krishna, just by his will, thousands and thousands of demons, just by overflooding, if there is a huge rain and the whole earth becomes overflooded, thousands of such demons would drown. Just by the will of the Lord, one earthquake and thousands of such people, they can be vanquished. The Lord arranges like that actually. When he sees the demoniac people population is increasing, then he creates enmity between one nation and another. They fight together and they kill themselves. Finished. So one demon, another demon, fight together, vanquish. Prabhupada used to give this example that sometimes the teacher does like this. When she sees two naughty children, then what she does? She engages each other to pull their ears. She tells one, pull his ear. And then she will tell another, you pull his ears. So the teacher doesn't have to personally punish. She engages the two naughty children to punish each other. That is the arrangement of the Lord. So the Lord can arrange like that. He can create a war between these two demoniac people and they will vanquish. Prabhupada says, Russia finished, America finished. Isn't it? If he wants, the Lord can do like that. So, Diti was very happy to hear that actually the Lord does not generally intervene in the material world. Maya takes care of everything. Even to punish the sinful living entities, Maya takes care. Or Yamraj takes care. The Lord doesn't have to interfere. If the Lord has to come personally and kill somebody, you can imagine the good fortune of that person. Very fortunate. Why he is considered to be fortunate, Prabhupada explains in the purport. To attain the result which is given by the Lord to these enemies, like Hiranyakashipu or Hiranyaksha when they were killed by the Lord personally, the destiny which they attained by being killed by the Lord personally, that destiny, the great sages, they hanker for life after life. They perform varieties of severe austerities, severe tapasyas, varieties of different kinds of penances they perform, and after many, many lifetimes, they may get this destination. And that destination is now achievable by the asuras, by the sons of Diti, by being killed by the Lord personally. So she became very satisfied that this destiny of, getting liberated from this material world is not very easy. Mama Maya Durattaya. To become liberated from the world is not very easy. People are trying very hard. And this destiny is possible now, will be possible for my sons because they are personally being killed by the Lord. So she was very happy. Then one may wonder, then it is very good. It is very easy to become enemy of the Lord, to become devotee. It is very difficult, isn't it? We have to chant and whole life we have to get attracted to become Krishna conscious. Very difficult. But it is very easy to become inimical to the Lord. First of all, to become inimical, 24-hour thinking of Krishna in enmity, like Kamsa or like Hiranyakashipu, is also not possible. He was also Krishna conscious in that way. But he was not Krishna conscious in bhakti. He was also thinking 24 hours of the Lord, but out of fear, out of enmity, out of enviousness towards the Lord. So that is not possible for an ordinary person. So if ordinary person it is not possible, then the Lord does not interfere. And then by Maya will take care of it. And then we get punished in the way that we will have to rot in the hellish life, life after life. Another important thing Prabhupada explains is, by this what the devotee learns is not that let me also become inimical to the Lord and attain this destination. What the devotee learns is how great devotional service must be. That even to the enemies, the Lord grants liberation. How insignificant the liberation is. Right? What does the devotee take a lesson from this? Devotees understand how insignificant liberation is. Why should I aspire for liberation? This liberation is available even for the enemy of the Lord. Why should I crave for that? It is available even for enemy of the Lord. Why should I undergo severe penances life after life? Isn't it? So what a devotee understands is, if for an enemy such a great destination is awaiting, how much more greater destination is awaiting for the devotees of the Lord. This is what a devotee understands. That the Lord is so merciful that even to the enemy He is granting liberation. How much more merciful the Lord is towards His devotees. What is awaiting them is unfathomable. It cannot be fathomed by these impersonalists. That is why bhakti is called Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu. What materialists are enjoying is one drop. What these impersonalists are enjoying by getting liberated, or what these demons are getting, is just the water contained, something like in the hoof print of a calf. Only that much. What a devotee is enjoying is ocean of bliss. Bhakti Rasa Amrita, eternal nectar of bliss, is what devotee is enjoying. So devotee never bothers about merging in Brahman. According to Prabodhananda Saraswati, he says, for a devotee, heavenly pleasure is like will-o-wisp. That means it is like flower in the sky. Actually, there is no flower in the sky. Flower grows, when there is some place to grow. It grows in earth. So for a devotee, it is phantasmagoria. That means it doesn't exist. Devotee is not inclined. It is illusory for a devotee to think that I will enjoy heavenly pleasure. Liberation, Prabodhananda Saraswati says, Kevalyam narkayate. It is more worst than enjoying heavenly pleasure. He doesn't want to merge in the Supreme Lord. It is hellish for him. So, this is not devotee's destination. Devotees enjoys eternal pleasure in association of Krishna and his devotees. This is what devotee actually takes a lesson from this. Not that he becomes attracted, let me also become inimical to the Lord and get this destination very easily. Not like that. Another very important point which Prabhupada is explaining in the purport is about Krishna's mercy. That how Krishna is absolute. From our material platform, when we judge Krishna's action, then we may be bewildered. And it may look like Krishna is partial, and to some Krishna is awarding something, and to one Krishna is awarding something else. But on absolute platform, if we see, Prabhupada explains, his actions are absolute. They are filled with mercy. Krishna's violence and non-violence are absolute. There is no difference. In the material world, if I love somebody, that is good. If I favor somebody, that is good. If I kill someone, it is not good. I am harming that person, I am harming myself. It is not good, either to him, either to me. I will be creating sinful life for me, and I am depriving him of his life. Isn't it? So violence is not good in the material world. But violence on absolute platform and non-violence on absolute platform is same. There is no difference. Because it is good for the party involved. When Arjuna created violence on the order of Krishna, it was good for him. Why? He was not implicated in any sinful reaction. Rather, he became a great devotee by following the order of the Lord. He got transcendental results. And it was good for other people also. When they were killed by Arjuna in the presence of the Lord, all of them, whoever was killed right in front of the Lord, seeing the face of the Lord, all of them were liberated. So it was good for them. So Prabhupada is saying Krishna's actions are absolute. They cannot be judged on material platform. And actually, Krishna is very merciful. Even to the demoniac people, Krishna is merciful. Prabhupada explains what is the meaning of mercy. Prabhupada says mercy means no discrimination. Sinful, not sinful, that is not meaning of mercy. Actually speaking, the Lord has been very merciful to all of us. Srila Prabhupada has been very merciful to all of us. We have all got mercy of Srila Prabhupada. How many of you think that we were all qualified to be a devotee? None of us were practically qualified to be a devotee. All of us were filled with, our lives were filled with sinful activities. So isn't it a mercy of great devotees of the Lord, great, Vaishnavas like Prabhupada? It's a mercy of the Supreme Lord, it is mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that today we are in Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada says, mercy means it is for everyone without discrimination. Prabhupada gave example. Prabhupada said, just like sunshine. Sunshine is equal to all. Sunshine is not thinking, this is a house of a Chandala. I will not go and shine in this house. No. Sunshine does not make any discrimination. Sunshine is meant for everyone. So Prabhupada says, similarly, Krishna's mercy has no discrimination. It is meant for all living entities. It is meant even for the sinful living entities, asuras also. They also get mercy of Krishna. Like here we find Hiranyakashipu getting mercy of Krishna, personally killed by the Lord. It's mercy of the Lord. So they also get. Another very beautiful example Prabhupada gives. Prabhupada says, The Lord's mercy or the spiritual master's mercy is like the rain. When it rains, the rain does not discriminate. You require or you don't require. Prabhupada says the ocean does not require any rain. Ocean does not require. Ocean has so much water. Doesn't require rain. But still, the cloud is not saying, you are ocean, you already have so much of water, I will not give you any further water. Ocean, the rain has no discrimination. It will still rain. Prabhupada gives another example. Big mountains are there, big stones are there. It does not require. Even if it is raining, it will not, in stones, there will not be any crops or something like that. But the rain is not thinking, this stone does not require my rain, so I will not rain here. Without discrimination, the rain still, it rains even on the stone. So Prabhupada says, this is Krishna's mercy without discrimination. So very beautifully Prabhupada says. When he bestows his mercy, it is for all of them. Either you are sinner or you are pious. That is God's mercy. Just like cloud, when it pours water, it does not make any discrimination. On the sea, there is also rainfall. On the rock also, there is rainfall. Where is necessity of rainfall on the rock? Is there any necessity of rainfall on the rock? What is the use? There is no use. It is simply waste. So God also wastes. All right, you take. You don't require, you also take. See, this is the meaning of mercy. Even if you don't require, rock does not require, but still rain says, take. This is the meaning of mercy. In the ocean there is no need of water, but cloud pours water on the ocean also. Only on the land we can utilize, but God is merciful, exactly like the rain cloud. He is so merciful. Where there is no necessity, they are also getting rain. Take rain. That is merciful. Without any discrimination, whether you want, you don't want, take it. That is mercy. So actually that is the supreme mercy of the Supreme Lord, we find. So, the devotee understands that sometimes the Lord apparently may look cruel in his action, but actually that is all external. Specifically for a devotee, when we judge from external, it may look like a cruel action. When Maharaj Parikshit was cursed to die within 7 days, one may think, why the Lord did not protect him? Great devotee of the Lord, right? We were discussing this once in the class. The Lord took so much care to protect Parikshit Maharaj in the womb from the weapon of Ashwathama. And now when the Brahmana cursed, the Lord is not protecting. You die. But that we are not seeing. From external we should not see. When the Lord is allowing that to happen, that is for a greater reason, for a greater protection. Parikshit Maharaj, the Lord wants to draw him more towards him. And that is how exactly Parikshit Maharaj also realized. That my dear Lord, after being protected by you, somehow I became very attached to Maya. I was very attached to my family, everything. And then foolishly I was going towards materialistic way of life. But you gave a full stop to it. And you told, now you have only 7 more days. So this curse that you are going to 7 more days, how many more days you are going to enjoy? Another 7 days. What will you get out of it? So you have forced me to surrender to you. This is your mercy, my dear Lord. So external we cannot judge. External we cannot think why he did not protect the body of, Parikshit Maharaj from the curse. So the Lord, specifically in the case of devotees, it is not a punishment. We should not think why the Lord was so harsh it is not a punishment, it is still the mercy of the Lord. Once it so happened that, I think it is when it was in Germany. It was very difficult to preach Krishna consciousness. So devotees were trying their best, and sometimes it happens that there is mismanagement. Out of foolishness, sometimes the devotees will make mistake. Out of immaturity, they are sincere. This is one very important thing we should realize. Sometimes we criticize. We find, that, the authorities are trying, and sometimes it may happen. Some mistakes happens from their side, and, we find some difficulties arises in some center. Isn't it? We will find that. So such thing happened in Prabhupada's time also. Germany, devotees, they were actually sincerely trying to execute the orders of Prabhupada, but they were immature, isn't it? And they were not very, developed in Krishna consciousness. They had not made so much progress. So out of their immaturity, they committed certain mistake, and the whole center was in mess. So one devotee pointed this out to Prabhupada, that Prabhupada, now we made, mistakes in that center, and, the problems are now surfacing, and we are not able to, preach Krishna consciousness very smoothly. People have become little against us. So will Krishna punish the devotees? You rascal, created so much mistake. So will Krishna punish those devotees? Isn't it? Like we are seeing here, Krishna is punishing Hiranyakashipu, Krishna is punishing Kamsa. So if devotees make mistake, sincerely they are trying to execute the orders of the spiritual master, but they make mistake. Will Krishna punish them? See? So that was the question. So Prabhupada very beautifully explains that actually, Prabhupada says, actually, Krishna has a plan, and that plan comes through the spiritual master. Krishna has a plan. Say Krishna has a plan how to preach in Germany. Through the spiritual master. The spiritual master plans, okay, this is how it should be done, like that. But if we fail to cooperate with him, then things go wrong. You see? So Prabhupada is explaining what went wrong. Krishna has a plan. How is he executing the plan? He is executing the plan through the spiritual master. So spiritual master has given some instruction. If we fail to cooperate to those instructions, then what happens? Plan fails. Plan fails. So things go wrong. Prabhupada is saying, then things go wrong. But then Prabhupada is saying, but Krishna does not punish his devotee. Then what? So many problems are caused. That is not caused by devotees. So Prabhupada is saying, no. The problems are caused by demons, not by Krishna. So it is not that Krishna is, causing problems to the devotee. Learn a lesson, learn a lesson. Isn't it? And devotees are not able to collect, and that is Krishna's mercy. No, you should all learn a lesson. Cannot collect. You failed my plan. No, Krishna is not like that. So Prabhupada is saying, actually the demons are causing problems. Why demons are causing problem? That also Prabhupada explains. The problems are caused by demons, not by Krishna. But if we mismanage, demons gain opportunity to wreak havoc with our mission. That should not be allowed. We should not mismanage and give opportunity to the demon. So Krishna is not causing. We mismanage and we give opportunity to the demon. Demon becomes more strong and he causes problem. And Krishna is so merciful. We mismanaged. We created problem. Demons have become heavy. They are creating havoc. They are creating problem. And then Prabhupada said, he smiled and added, but they cannot disturb for very long. Krishna is very merciful. So even though because of our mismanagement, demon became strong, they are creating problem, but Prabhupada is still reassuring, don't worry. Still they will not be able to create problem for very long. We saw that in the example of Prahlad. How long? For quite a long time he created problem for Prahlad Maharaj. But then at one point, Krishna put a full stop. So similarly, Krishna is very merciful. We should rest assured that if we sincerely keep on following, then it will not be very long till the demon will create problem. So this is what we can see from this verse. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।